Welcome to Salt of the Earth Northwich People of Action, the podcast celebrating the people, projects and community events that help make our area such a special place. In this episode, Celia Waddington shares how Rotary helped her settle into a new area, to build friendships and to feel part of the community. We also hear from Sally Smith about Northwich's dementia-friendly project and her passion for helping local people living with dementia continue to lead fulfilling and connected lives. And Deb Edgerton gives us a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at the Northwich Beer Festival, Brews, Tipples and Tunes. From what it takes to organise such a popular event to why it means so much to the local community. Let's hear their stories. A big welcome to my next guest, Celia Waddington. Celia is one of our newest members at Weaver Valley Rotary Club. You've been with us about 9 months. Celia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. My first meeting was in July, and Melanie, a member who lives around the corner from me, put a WhatsApp message out asking if anyone was interested.
Excellent. Was there a particular reason that you decided to come along?
My aim is to try and get to know people in the local area because we haven't lived here very long, and aside from my son and his family, I know nobody. Thought it would be a good idea to try and get to know people. So I've helped start a book club on the street. So I've got to know people through that. And then Melanie said about the Rotary. So I thought that was another way as well.
Yeah, it's a great way for you to make friends and actually get involved in what's going on locally.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Did you have any kind of expectations or preconceptions at all about Rotary?
Not really. To be honest, I didn't know what they did at all. I knew of them. I knew the name.
Yes.
But I couldn't have said what they did. And I suppose if I had any preconceptions, it was that it was quite formal, male-orientated, and a bit like the Masons-y type of thing. But not really. I didn't really know.
Do you have any idea of how or where you'd heard about Rotary?
It was years ago when we used to live down in Hertfordshire. And my mum was quite involved in the local area doing things. And she was friends with a woman who was really involved politically and into lots of things. And I think it probably stemmed from that, to be honest.
Can you tell us a little bit about that first meeting, whether you arrived with any sort of expectations, the welcome, the reception, that kind of thing?
The thing that surprised me the most was that it was predominantly female. Everyone was really friendly and it was relaxed because it was in a pub, so it just makes for a relaxed atmosphere. Everyone was quite chatty. It had been organised to try and introduce new people into the Rotary. It was interesting hearing Melanie's story and meeting different people. And when I heard about how you work in the community and help not just registered charities, but small groups who need that little bit of input, I thought, oh, this sounds like it will suit me. It will be something nice to do.
What kind of events or activities have you been involved with so far?
The first thing that I did was the soup on the go that was held in Hertford. And I just went to see what it was like, really. And it was great. I mean, listening to all the different groups give their pitches. Some of them were really funny. Some of them were interesting. Very nice cake. And I really enjoyed that. It was a nice evening. And it was very difficult choosing who I wanted to vote for because some of them were really good. Then I helped out on a couple of the Santa Sleigh runs that we did before Christmas. And again, that was just fun. Cold, but fun. Seeing all the kids coming out and being so excited by it, it was a really nice thing to do. So I did 2 of those. I'm helping to organise the next Soup on the Go in April.
You were rounding us up just before Christmas as well, because we got involved with the toy appeal or the teddy appeal.
Oh, yes, I did. I'd forgotten about that. Yes, I did, because I thought it would be something nice to do. And then it was like the logistics of us trying to do it, we were too small, really. My CWA, the Cheshire Against Abuse, they were doing it. So I contacted them and arranged that we could collect things to take to them and be part of their Christmas boxes, which they were doing for the children and for adults. And it was gifts and practical things like food. So it was a good thing to be a part of.
I feel like that's a really nice indication of some of the type of things we get involved with, because it doesn't involve a huge amount of effort. It's just about a little nudge here and there, isn't it? And getting involved with people where we can. and we can make a contribution that way.
Yes. And that's what I like about the group, is that it's quite easy to say, I think this is a worthwhile cause. Can we do something, whether it's monetary contribution or helping collect toys, collect food, whatever, and we make that little bit of a difference, and there's not a lot of hierarchy or formality or seconding to go through. So you do feel like you are making a difference to people in an easy and flexible way.
And you talked about helping out with the Santa Sleigh and what a brilliant experience that is.
Yeah.
What was your involvement on those evenings? What did you actually have to do?
I was collecting money, so I had my bucket, but Heather, who I did the first one with, she felt, and I agreed with her, that it's nicer just to ask people if they've got children, do they want to come and see the sleigh? And then if they want to contribute, they can, and if they don't have to.
Yeah.
And so that's the tack I went on, and it was amazing. Some people were older, didn't have children at home, still wanted to contribute. The children came out with all their change and their bits to put in the buckets. And then some people didn't, and it's fine. And we did raise quite a lot of money without having to really do anything like that. And people were very open and friendly. There was people quite happy about it. And it was just a fun thing to do before Christmas.
It really is fabulous. How easy have you found it to volunteer, and have you felt in any way obligated?
No, I haven't felt obligated. I tend to be a little bit nervous because I've always suffered a little bit with imposter syndrome. So I feel like I say, oh, yes, I could do this, and then think, oh. So I slightly panic, but I do myself a bit of a disservice because I'm quite a capable person. And I've always been good at organising and admin and finance and things like that. So I do, but I do get a bit nervous because I'm fairly new. I don't know exactly how everything works. Some of the other groups are different. There will be protocols that maybe I'm not aware of and things like that. So I feel like I have to do it in small steps.
Have you felt any pressure to volunteer, or is there any expectation to be dedicating lots of time to it?
No, I don't think so. I wanted to volunteer. I've retired just over a year ago. I don't feel at all that there's any pressure. And I feel that it's very much about you do what you're comfortable doing and you're able to do, because a lot of people are a lot busier than me. Nobody has any great expectation or puts any pressure on you.
Brilliant. How would you describe the meetings?
Oh, they're good. They're a good mixture of a bit of friendly chat and actually going through a bit of an itinerary, and people can say what they want to discuss. And then fortunately, Helen writes it all down so we don't have to try and remember everything. And then it raises different things. A bit like that My CWA, I felt that I could bring that up and say, actually, this is something I thought would be nice for us to do.
What would you say to somebody contemplating visiting or joining Rotary?
Just to give it a go. It's just a nice way to get to know people. And it's a nice way to find out what's going on in the area. It could open up other opportunities if there was something you were really interested in getting involved in. But it gives you a broad spectrum of what's going on, and it allows you to give something back to the community and on your terms. So as much time as you have and want to give. So give it a shot. And don't get too tied up in what your expectations of it might be, because you can cut your nose to spite your face, really, can't you? And if you don't go along and try it and see and give it a bit of time, don't go to a meeting, go to a few to give yourself a proper idea. And then if it's not for you, it's not for you, but you might find that it is. You don't know until you try.
What's been your favourite thing about Rotary so far?
Just being part of a very nice, friendly group. That's what I like. I'm feeling that maybe I will be able to use some of my skills to help people.
Celia, it's been really good to talk to you today. You shared some interesting insights and hopefully got a few people thinking about whether they should come to one of our meetings and find out what we're all about.
Lovely. Thanks, Paula.
My next guest is Sally Smith. Sally is a very long-standing member of Weaver Valley Rotary Club. She's also one of the key organisers and one of the key instigators of the dementia-friendly Northwich project. Sally, can you tell us about the project?
The Dementia-Friendly Northwich project has always been a passion project of mine. My day job is a social worker, and I have an interest in older people, particularly people living with dementia. One of the things about dementia is that it's not just about the diagnosis that somebody has, it's about the community around them and how much they understand about dementia. And it's about how slightly subtle changes can be put in place to help people to navigate their community better. That's the idea behind my interest in dementia-friendly Northwich. As a member of Weaver Valley Rotary, I had the opportunity to be president for a year. And as part of that, I was allowed to choose what project I wanted to focus Rotary members' attention on for that year. And I thought that would be a really good opportunity for me to use the network of contacts in the community that the Rotary Group had to look at, could we make our local town more dementia friendly? The first step is the intention. We want to make a dementia-friendly Northwich. The second stage is really to set up a group of stakeholders who also wanted that, and to then see where that led.
Northwich isn't the first place to do this. It's not a sudden individual project, is it? It's something that's gone on in other places. Can you tell us more about the idea behind the project of what does it mean to a town to become dementia-friendly?
The Dementia-Friendly Town project was initially started by the Alzheimer's Society. They had a clear framework of what they wanted dementia-friendly towns to look like and what that would mean for the people in that community. The Alzheimer's Society moved on from that project, so it's up to each individual town to do what's best for their local community. Northwich has a good town centre. It's quite a sprawling town with lots of, I suppose, villages within Northwich. It was looking at Northwich town centre. One of the stakeholders is the town council, and they have always been very proactive in dementia-friendly Northwich. Alongside some of the projects they run, they have something called BID, which is about stimulating growth and supporting businesses in the town. They were able to give us a grant from BID to work out what we wanted to do. So if you are a person who's living with dementia or you're a family member who's supporting them, what you might find when you go into a town centre is that it's very busy, maybe labelling of where toilets are, where shops are, isn't very clear to people. And when you go into a shop or a pub or a cafe, the whole place might feel overwhelming to somebody who is experiencing the disturbance in their thought processes. So in a pub, they might see quite a busy, swirly carpet as something that's moving. A doormat on the way into a supermarket, they might see that as a hole. They might see that as water. It's the way the brain processes the information people are seeing. If you're that person and you're about to step into that shop and you think, I'm not clear what's in front of me, is that water? Is that a hole? And you stop. What doesn't help is people behind you busily rushing in, tutting, thinking, why is that person holding us all up? We're busy. It's working with the local community and also the shops to explain this is the way somebody living with dementia perceives the world. Is there something you can do to make that easier? Might be spaces on either side where a carer can gently guide somebody. Or there might be somebody to greet you in the shop. They could stand on that mat to show it's not a hole. There's very small things that aren't going to cost a lot of money to put in place, but it's about people's awareness of what it is to live with dementia. I suppose it's an educational piece of work. It's an educational project highlighting to the general public through awareness sessions of this is what dementia is like. This is what it's like to experience it. What can you do to be more accepting, more gentle with people who are experiencing that?
Yeah, I remember you running one of the dementia awareness sessions for the Rotary Group. It was only about a 45-minute session, but it was really informative, and it very much opened my eyes to the different forms of dementia, the different symptoms, what people are experiencing, and things that we can look out for where we might not help a situation just through rushing into something or making assumptions or just not thinking about different perspectives. I've certainly found that really informative. How did you get the project off the ground, and who else has been involved with the effort?
Rotary was very supportive and helped to set up the first meetings and invite people who were likely to want to be involved. So the Town Council, the Alzheimer's Society, Age UK, business owners or shop owners in the town centre, just people that might actually have a vested interest and would be interested in potentially being part of that project. The initial meetings were set up by Rotary. And then from that, the group just became separate to Rotary and started to form into a group who began to share ideas and put small steps into how are we going to progress this? How are we going to move this forward?
Yes, we recognised that as a Rotary group, we couldn't do this alone. We could definitely start it off and build that momentum, but it needed a much wider buy-in. I think that's what we managed initially, isn't it? And then you and that working group have really run with it. What I haven't asked you is how long ago this was and how long it's all been running for.
The first meetings of Dementia-Friendly Northwich Group were about 3 years ago.
Okay.
It's quite a slow-moving dynamic of a group. It's not something that has a huge amount of money behind it, where you can go, right, we're going to go for this and we've got this huge pot of money and therefore we're just going to publicise it and move forward. It was actually more about the interest in the group, the willingness in the group and the expertise and networking within the group that has got it moving. Yeah. And the group has changed as people have dropped in and dropped out. People are very busy and something like this takes energy and somebody to push it forward. So we elected a chair, and that chair has changed over the time, but it's kept us to an agenda and it's kept us to, right, what are our action goals and what are we hoping to achieve by the next time we meet? I would say it's somebody looking at that 3 years might think, well, I can't see a lot that's changed here. But if I look back and I think that we ran awareness sessions and delivered key information to the general public about what being dementia friendly means, within that time, there have been over 100 dementia friends made, people that have listened to the message and said, yes, we want to be part of that. We've started a cafe, so there is a monthly cafe in Northwich Town Centre where people can drop in, spend time, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee in a very supportive atmosphere. It doesn't cost anything. There are different people in there who know about services in the Northwich area that might support somebody living with dementia or their carers, so that we're able to pass that information on. The next step really is about joining up the dots of what's available in the Northwich area. Yeah. Rotary already run a very successful group, which has been running for a number of years, predating Dementia Friendly Northwich Group. But it's actually more than a group where people meet once a month. It has to involve shops, it has to involve businesses, and it has to be bigger than that. So the next steps will be access to a dementia-friendly bus. And this bus will come along to the town centre and will give people the opportunity to go onto the bus and have an interactive experience of what it's like to live with dementia. Home Instead and the town council are partly funding that. It's also an opportunity to meet the people who are currently offering something to support that person living with dementia in their carers in the Northwich area.
If there's somebody listening and they have a family member or a friend who's living with dementia, if they were wondering about additional support or whether the Dementia Friendly Northwich project offers anything for them, is there anybody that they can reach out to?
We have a Facebook group, Dementia Friendly Northwich. So that's open for anybody to join. That group promotes everything going on in Northwich. If there's a group meeting, it's advertised on there. It's a place really where people can ask for support, ask for information and advice, and they will get it on there. They will probably be signposted to social prescribers, as they have a lot of information about what's available in the town and can link you up with that group. There are also care companies who offer groups, but also can offer information and can then also offer practical support.
Fantastic. And if there's anybody listening who feels very drawn towards this project or this area, who would like to get involved in the project, who should they reach out to, or how do they make a connection?
Again, the best place would be on the Facebook group. Say, look, I'd like to be involved. The monthly cafe, we have a number of volunteers, but it's always better to have more volunteers. If you want to give up a couple of hours once a month and come and make tea, or come and chat to people, or come and do some jigsaw puzzles, or play games, or bring an instrument to play, the cafe would love to have a chat with you about that. If you want to get involved in the group and maybe have something to contribute, whether that's lived experience of dementia, or you're a business owner and you want your business to become more dementia friendly, and what does that actually mean, then again, it would be the Facebook group to get in contact with. There are leaflets around the town which explain about dementia friendly Northwich. The other place would be to go into the Salvation Army. Claire is one of our members. The cafe is run there. The door is always open, and so if you're in the town centre, pop into Salvation Army and ask to speak to Claire. I'm sure she'd be able to help.
Fantastic. Is there anything that the project needs at the moment to help move things forward?
As always, it's about that marketing of the group, getting the message out, dealing with social media. Those are all very specific skills that we don't necessarily have in the group. So if anybody had those skills and wanted to help, that would be fantastic. We would bite your arm off. If somebody wanted to donate some money to making our town more dementia friendly, then again, that would be brilliant. There is lots of ways that a small amount of money can go an awful long way.
Perfect. How important would you say Rotary has been in this project?
One of the exciting things about Rotary is that people join from many different walks of life, different experiences in the work environment, different kind of lived experience. But when you get those people in the room together, ideas bubble up to the surface, and things that are just an idea can become a project, can make a huge difference to the local community. Rotary is a brilliant organisation to get involved with. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It's just a nice group of people who meet to have a chat, who generate ideas and then take it a step further.
What would you say to somebody who is, let's say, slightly intrigued by Rotary and they're contemplating coming along, but perhaps they're feeling a bit nervous?
I think people's perception of what Rotary isn't actually what Rotary is. Perhaps we think about the Santa who comes around at Christmas. We think about Swimathon, the events in town where Rotary are very prominent, such as the beer festival. But it's not just about those big projects. Everybody can take part in it. Everybody has something to offer. It's about finding your tribe of people. And there are a number of Rotary groups in the Northwich area. One of those is going to suit you, and one of those suited me, which is why I was keen to join.
Fantastic. We've given people a clear idea of the plans for the dementia-friendly project and the progress that's been made. People can get in touch with the team through the Dementia-Friendly Northwich Facebook group if they want to volunteer, donate, or if they've got a family member living with dementia that would like a little bit more support. Lots of opportunities all around. Thank you so much, Sally.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to introduce Deb Edgerton, the Vice President of Vale Royal Rotary, and she's also a member of our Beer Festival Committee. Deb, can you tell us a little bit about the Northwich Beer Festival and how long it's been running?
Yes, definitely. Northwich Beer Festival, or now as it's known, the Brews, Tipples and Tunes Festival, has been around for 30 plus years. Previously it was known as Northwich Beer Festival, but based on feedback, we gave it a rename to let people know it's not just about beer.
Aha, fabulous. And funny enough, that was going to be one of my questions. Is it just about traditional ales? Because I think that's a typical perception around beer festivals.
Yes, traditionally it was all about the real ales. Over time, this has progressed and modernised to support the different tastes of the Northwich people. So we now have not only real ales, but we have ciders, we have gins, we have cocktails, and we also have a great selection of non-alcoholic options. So you can have a great night out without having to have alcohol if you don't drink.
Is this just a social thing then, or is there a benefit to the community?
It's a massive benefit to the community. Of the profit that gets raised by the beer festival, that gets put into local charities, local fundraising causes, local events that people come to Rotary and say, hey, we're needing help with this. Can you support us? And the funds are raised through the beer festival.
Fantastic. What kind of organisations has the beer festival helped in the past with the proceeds?
Northwich Beer Festival is ran by 2 of the Northwich Rotary clubs, and when the funds get raised from the beer festival, it gets split 50-50 to each club, and then depending on that club's years, goals or charities that they're working with, or even the president's charities, it will go in different directions. So for 2025, for example, the beer festival profits went to the Northwich Victoria charity, which provide services that are not available through the NHS, and to help support local people who are maybe not in the best of health or are needing extra support. And that's where last year's 2025 Beer Festival supported.
So people get to come have a great night out and they're contributing to the community as well. Fabulous.
Very much.
Can you give us an overall picture of what's involved in the organisation?
Definitely. We have the Beer Festival Committee, which is a mixture of the 2 Rotary clubs. We also have Rotaract joining us, which is the younger members' Rotary club in the area. And we meet monthly. And then as it gets close to the Beer Festival, every 2 weeks. And we have social media campaigns. We have marketing campaigns. We have a rota for all the volunteers that we have coming to help, whether they're helping hand out leaflets of a weekend, whether they're going to be doing activities with the setup of the beer festival, because not all of our members are available at weekends, but they might have time during the week so they can come and help set up the beer festival. And then the rota for the people who are helping of the evenings during the actual event, as well as speaking to the breweries. There's great thing of going and testing and tasting all the different beers to see what's popular this year, what the breweries recommend, look at the tasting notes. So a lot goes into the organisation of this activity. But as everybody who attends can see, the beers that we have on offer, the ciders that we have on offer change every year to meet the tastes of what's currently popular, but also what the breweries are seeing are selling well.
Do other people help with the organisation of this, or is it a pure Rotary event?
With the organisation, it's a Rotary event. We do have volunteers, friends of Rotary, people who reach out and say, hey, I'm interested in finding out more, or like myself, my dad attended the beer festivals when I was younger, and then I attended the beer festivals, and I wanted to learn, what can I do to help? And that's how I got involved. So we have a mixture of Rotary people, friends of Rotary, and people who reach out because they enjoy the event so much, they'd like to help.
Fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit more about what kind of things the volunteers get involved with? It sounds like there are very varied roles for the volunteers.
There definitely are. And that's one of the great things about being a Rotarian. There is no hard commitment. You help where you can with what you can. So including our volunteers and our friends of Rotary, you can be handing out leaflets of a weekend and promoting the event. Great at the artisan market or at the Pina Colada Festival, handing out leaflets and advertising the beer festival. We also have anyone who's good with social media can help with the technical side. We've got people who are helping on the night with the ticket sales or getting people into the event, selling beer tokens. Or if you want to have your dab hand at pulling a beer, you can be trained on using those hand pulls and being able to socialise, but also deliver some great beers during the night.
Sounds absolutely perfect. Sounds like there's an opportunity for everybody and maybe some frustrated bar staff out there that would like to come and try their hand.
Definitely.
Beer festivals are one of those things where a few years ago they were probably quite new and quite novel, and they're becoming more widespread. Is there a challenge around how we keep this festival going and how we can essentially future-proof it?
Yes, we realised after the Beer Festival of 2024 that Northwich Beer Festival needed to modernise to stay relevant. And that's one of the reasons why it had the rename, but also how we presented and the offerings that we presented changed based on feedback. And that's one thing that we would say is we listen to the people attending. We changed the layout in 2025 to make it much more of a sociable gathering, lots of little tables so you could sit with friends rather than everybody having to stand up of the evening. There's some standing tables. We had a nice little garden area with picnic tables and a grassy bit. But also we changed the drinks offerings. People were mentioning they wanted more cooled hand pulled. So for 2025 and also for 2026, all the beers are chilled hand pulls, meaning that they're not just room temperature, but they're nice and chilled. So when it's that warm September, Indian summer that we get, you've nice cool beer in your hand. The ciders, we offered a selection of breweries for those ciders, and we added cocktails and the non-alcoholic options.
Fabulous. The new title, Brews, Tipples and Tunes, suggests there's some music or some entertainment in there as well.
Yes, on the Friday evening and the Saturday evening slots, we have a selection of live bands playing. Again, trying to be as local as possible with bands, supporting local talent. And then for somebody who maybe doesn't want that live entertainment and wants a quieter environment, we have the Saturday lunchtime where we have Radio Northwich playing some nice background relevant music as well. So we try and cater to the people who are wanting that social Friday night out with live music and great drinks, to somebody who's wanting to sit with their mates and have a couple of drinks on this Saturday lunchtime.
Fantastic. If there are people listening that maybe think, I'm not sure volunteering is right for me, but should I go along and support the event, what would you say to them?
Very much so. This is an event, whereas if we don't use it, we're going to lose it. We need to have the support of the Northwich residents and wider afield to be able to sell those tickets, to have you coming and drinking our great choices of drinks, enjoy the bands, because with getting that attendance, we're then able to raise the great funds for the local causes, but also it provides a great opportunity for volunteering if people want to, as well as attending.
Amazing. I'm pondering this from a Rotary perspective and how you see this sort of fitting in with Rotary overall and Rotary's approach to events and community, and how you see this really feeding into all of that.
Yes, service before self is the whole Rotary mantra and uniting people. The beer festival is run by 2 separate Rotary clubs, but we work together collaboratively to have the beer festival together, as well as supporting the community. We're providing a great event that is supported by the local residents, as well as then having those profits going back into the community and supporting local charities, events, great causes.
Fabulous. What would you say to anybody listening who wasn't really aware that this festival happens? How do they find out about it and how do they get themselves booked in for the next one?
Great question. Northwich Beer Festival, or Brews, Tipples and Tunes page on Facebook and Instagram, where we run our social media campaigns and links through to all of the upcoming dates once they're advertised and where you can buy tickets. But you can also reach out to your local Rotary club, or if you see us in town handing out those leaflets, please come and chat to us. Very happy to explain if you're interested in volunteering, or if you'd like to know where to buy tickets from, we'll have a great QR code ready for you.
And if there's anybody listening thinking, this Rotary doesn't sound quite as crusty as I had the idea in my head, what would you say to those people about coming to try out Rotary and checking out whether to get involved themselves?
I'll be a great example of that. When I first joined Rotary, you have a certain picture in your head of what it's going to be like. And it's far from that. It's a great group of so many different personalities, so many different lifestyles, life experiences. And we all come together to socialise, but also to do things and support the community, to volunteer and help where we can and when we can. As I mentioned before, there's no hard commitment that you have to volunteer at every event or every weekend. It's when you can. Rotary is all about service before self and helping when you can. So if you're not too sure, come down to a meeting, because there's so many different groups in Northwich. We meet at different times. We all have very different feels, looks, how we go about how we do our meetings. But at the end of the day, we're all there to support the same great causes and to help out in the local community.
How long have you been a member of Rotary, Deb?
I'm coming up to my 4th year. During the pandemic, I started helping with the Zero Food Waste initiative that Rotary helps with the local Zero Food Waste hub. And I reached out to a Rotarian to say, what else do you do? And they went, the beer festival. And I said, oh, okay, I'm also interested in helping with that. And for me, that's how it started, helping with events that meant something to me. And then realizing how much else Rotary does, like Santa at Christmas, like the Swimathon, like the River Festival. All of these things are supported or ran by Rotary in the Northwich area, and it's great, and I love being able to help. Anybody who's interested, whether it's volunteering, just plain curiosity, reach out. We have so many different personalities, age ranges, and life experiences. Don't assume that everybody is retired or of a higher education. I myself, I say only went to college. That's my education level. It's not about what you know or who you know. It's about your willingness to support, to be able to volunteer and give back to the community.
Amazing. That's fabulous. Thank you very much, Deb.
Thank you very much for having me on.
We really hope you've enjoyed this episode and hearing the stories of the people, projects and volunteers who help make our area such a special place. We'd love to think it might even inspire you to get more involved in your own community, whether that's through volunteering, supporting a local project, or perhaps even becoming a Rotary member yourself. You'll find links alongside this episode to all the organisations and events we've featured today, so you can find out more or get involved with any that particularly interest you. If you've enjoyed listening, please follow the podcast and leave us a rating or review. It really helps more people to discover these local stories. And if you know somebody else who'd enjoy this podcast, we'd love you to share it with them too. If you'd like to find out more about Weaver Valley Rotary or come along to one of our meetings, you would be very welcome. And you can find all the details at www.weavervalleyrotary.org. Thank you so much for listening.
You